Welcome back, YouTube. What a week we had last week. It was a really easy week for trades, right? Some of the stuff that I wanted to happen didn't actually come to pass, right? But however, we did have a lot of easy trading scenarios that appeared last week. There wasn't a lot of gains in those situations when they appeared, but nonetheless, there were gains to be made. And if you weren't able to take advantage of those gains, I want to point out how you could have taken advantage of those gains, right? And maybe for week commencing Monday, the 30th of September, you're going to spot those opportunities or opportunities similar to the ones that we went through this week, to make sure that if you didn't get anything last week for yourself, maybe you can get something for yourself next week. So with all of that covered, we're going to start getting into the business as to what we plan to do for that week, which will be Monday, the 30th of September. That whole week is what we're planning and preparing for, right? So with that covered, first off, a brief recap as to what we discussed last week in regards to move I was expecting to take place and what actually took place. So what actually took place is what we're seeing right before our eyes. This is what took place. And what I thought was going to take place was market heading to this zone up here, where we would have collected all of those amazing pips and points, right? Because that would have been our TP. But unfortunately, that did not happen, and it made it partially up there and literally started to fizzle all the way back down again between Thursday and Friday, which wasn't too much of a big deal, because if you knew what to do and how to do it, it still could have worked out relatively well. Not as good as going all the way up to this level over here, which is 20787.1, but however, it would have been all right. You would have had a little bit of change in your pocket, and it would have been happy days, all smiles, right? Okay, so with that said and done, let's look at what we looked at last week, right? And also as well, I had somebody drop me a comment last week, right? So I'm just gonna, if I can just find that comment. Let me see if I can find that comment. Aha. So this gentleman, AK47 with the scope trade, right? I love that name, by the way, right? He turned around and he said, do I implement the previous weekly high and low? I know those are real fractal levels. I agree, right? Anything could just be considered imaginary, right? Now, my friend, off that, I know you're very new to this channel, right? I know you're very new to this channel, so welcome to the channel. I'm definitely happy to have you on board, right? And I like what you do on your channel as well, so I just thought I'd put that out to you. I definitely like what you do in the channel, and I am keeping an eye on you, my friend, right? Now, if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, you would know that this is what we discuss, okay? So you're 100% spot on. This is something that I've identified myself a while back, hence why I talk about it in every single one of my videos, weekly highs and weekly lows, because these are very, very, very important fractal levels, right? A lot of people don't know that, but I've become aware of it, hence why I am spreading the good news to all those that are interested in what I have to say. Hence why this whole chart is filled with weekly lows and weekly highs going as far back. Obviously, I've cleaned up some of the ones from the past, but we've been following this for a very, very long time, and we're not going to stop, because I believe weekly highs and weekly lows are some of the most accurate data market produces, right? Outside of resistance and support. So, and if you combine the weekly highs and the weekly lows and resistance and support together, you have a very, very, very powerful charting system. And then when you combine that with market structures and trend lines, etc., that's when it just levels up even more. And the more you add on top of that, the more powerful it becomes. So my friend, we definitely use the previous week's highs and lows to make decisions, and if you stay and watch this video to the end of this video, you will know that's exactly what we do. So thank you for your comment. I definitely dropped a heart on that, and I hope you continue to share your thoughts on this channel, and I always encourage everyone that watches my content to share their views on my channel, because like I say, I don't know everything, and I welcome criticism. I welcome your feedback, because it only makes me better and it helps me to put out even better information out to you all. So with all of that said and done, let's get straight into it. So I've already moved the vertical lines to cover this week just gone, which would have been week commencing the 23rd of September, this whole week over here, right? So we're just going to make this a little bit bigger, just so that we can really see what's going on, right? And as we can see, we have the weekly high that was set on the Thursday. So we got that weekly high on Thursday the 19th, right? And this is it right here. So we're just gonna highlight that out. Okay, so weekly high on Thursday the 19th was touched. So we had a little spike through, and we got those on a Tuesday, right? But we actually got a real break of that on the Wednesday. Okay, and then after that Wednesday, we just had a continuous push all the way to the upside, which was great, which was fantastic, right? So if you was following that, what I normally discuss, which is using the previous week's high or the previous week's low to determine what's going to be happening in this area over here, you would have been able to comfortably jump in at this level or maybe around this level and reading it all the way up to the upside. Okay, all the way up to the upside. That opportunity would have been there for you. Okay, and then with that said and done, the target for last week was this zone right here, which was 207.87.1. This was where I thought price was going to go and where we was going to collect some amazing pips and points. But however, that did not happen, which is fine. Market does what market wants to do, which is why it's super important. I say this, I'm not a financial advisor. I am not giving you financial advice. This is purely my opinion on where I think market is going to go. If you blindly follow instructions on this channel and it all goes wrong, whose fault is it? Your fault, because you should have done the homework. Don't blindly follow anybody. I don't do it, and I don't think you should either. These are just ideas. I'm helping you generate ideas for when you decide you're going to enter the market, and maybe you might think my idea is amazing, which is great. I love to hear that my ideas are good, but sometimes there might be a flaw in my idea. I might have missed something. I might have conveyed it wrong, right? Which is where you're supposed to come in, because you're doing the homework, identify these things, and make sure when you tap in correctly, so you get all those amazing pips and points for yourself. So with that said, let's get straight into it, right? So that was taken out on the opening. So the weekly high was properly taken out where it continued in that direction, which is all of this move to the upside. We got that in the early hours. Okay, I'm just trying to zoom all the way in on that. So we got that, say at the close, we then had the push to the upside. So if you was monitoring the market around this time, you could have jumped in early hours of the morning on this one right here, which would have been 11 p.m. candle, depending on where you are, and then reading it all the way up, and then at which point you would have then known, okay, you might need to jump out. And the reason why I say at which point you might know, you might realize you need to jump out, is what happened here and when this event took place. So this push all the way down that day is super important, right? And I'm about to break that down, okay? So why is this day super important? Well, first things first is that we know, right? We know that in the week, based on everything that you've been seeing in the past of weekly highs and weekly lows, is that doing a 5-day week, we're going to get a weekly low and we're going to get a weekly high, right? And if we are able to predetermine these events as it happens in real time, it will save us a lot of headache, right? So, for example, weekly high was taken out on the let's just say taken out on the Thursday, right? That's when it was taken out on the Wednesday evening late, but we'll just say taken out on the Thursday, just for the sake of this video, right? So as the weekly high has been taken out, we now know that the high is now about to be set, because as it stands, these points here are the highs, right? And they don't look good enough, right? They don't look good enough because we're expecting a big move to take place, and it's going to be quick and it's going to be aggressive, right? When the high is set, the drop from that point is always hard and it's always aggressive, okay? So what happened? On the Thursday, this was locked in, right? That's the weekly high there. And why do I know that's the weekly high? Because it happened on the Thursday, right? If it didn't happen on a Thursday, we would have had a continuous push to the upside, and then on a Friday, I would have been expecting it, right? And if it didn't happen on a Friday, then it's fair to assume market would have gone one way, which is just up. From Monday to Friday, it just moved in one direction. Low was set on a Monday, high was set on a Friday. Sometimes it happens, those events are always the best, but sometimes it happens in that order, right? But however, it didn't happen like that. How it happened was on the Thursday was when we got the collapse. So how do we know we got the collapse on the Thursday? Because remember, we're looking at this in real time, and in real time it doesn't look as clear as it does in hindsight. So in hindsight, we could like, yeah, you could have done that and could have done this and woo, 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 woo. No. What we want to do is we want to be able to identify all of this in real time. So market is up here on a Thursday and these candles are not there. What do we do? What do we do? This is what I want to talk to you guys about, right? So market flies all the way down on the Thursday, okay, right? So if you was holding a buy from up here, okay, you basically tapped in to break even, and it's now pushed back up again, and you now need to make a decision. Are you going to stay in the market, or are you going to jump out, right? So I would have said jump out, and the reason why I would have said jump out is we're using hindsight information that we're going to use at a later date for real-time analysis, right? So why would I have said jumped out? If you bought over here, market went all the way up, you did not close, it's flown all the way back down to this level again where you're at break even, and then during a day it starts to push back up again, right? So it starts to push back up again and you still don't close out of your position, right? Why would I have said jump out? Well, it's really simple. It's because A, this happened on the Thursday, so I know this is the weekly high. Now, my main concern is the weekly low is we've got two touch points, and in my mind, I'll be thinking that these two weekly lows over here is about to be violated. Okay, so up here, I would only want sales because I'll believe that a new low is about to be created on the Friday. Obviously, that didn't happen, but that's what my thinking would be, right? So in this area over here, why would I say tell you to jump out? Well, simple. We have a fair value in this area right here. Okay, so we have a fair value in this area right here. Okay, and the first time market went into this fair value was in the early hours of the morning, right? So you're buying, you bought up here, you had all your profits, it's wiped you out, and it's coming back up again and it's giving you more profits, right? But however, if you keep an eye as to what's going on to the left side of your screen, that should tell you that, okay, if you want to be hopeful, you need to come in with a trading stop, right? And if you want to be absolutely sensible, you need to jump out of this entire trade. These were your only two options, right? Keeping your stop down here made no sense because it means chances are you're still holding the position now over the weekend and you're unsure what direction it's going to go in, right? Because it's fair to assume that based on what we're seeing over here, price might actually come down on Monday, tomorrow. So this was your fair value right here, right? So you've locked it in, you've gained all of that, you're out, right? And if you got it here, it went all the way up, you took your dough, it flew all the way back down again, you waited, and then you saw it back in this zone, and you jumped in again, and then it's flown all the way back down again. Well done to you, my friend. You've done very well, right? So with all of that said and done in regards to what we've talked about here, let's now look at what we need to do, what we need to keep an eye out for on Monday, the 30th of September, right? And also remember, the weekly high, what I always talk about, this level right here, that got taken out clean. Hence why we're always using this concept. So, weekly high set on a Thursday. This is it right here. Let's add a label to that. Weekly high. And the number that we're looking for, it is 20338.3. And then we have weekly low, which was set. You could either go with either a Monday or a Tuesday, but at both times price came to the exact same zone, right? These are the levels we're talking about here. These two levels right here, right? These two spikes down. So that is the weekly low. So we can just say, let's just go with, keep it double T's, right? Say weekly low was set on a Tuesday, right? Just keep it nice and light. Set on a Tuesday. So let's add a label to that. Weekly low. And here's the labels for that as well, which is 19743.1. Now, if any of these levels are taken out next week, we would be looking to be taking positions in the corresponding direction. So if the weekly high is taken out, we're looking for buys. If the weekly low is taken out, we're looking for sells. Now, in my opinion, right, looking at what I'm looking at right now, I'm kind of getting the feeling that price is going to be breaking down rather than going up, right? So I think I rejigged this last week and it didn't really make much sense. Let me try and rejig it again this week. Let's just rejig it again, see if we can get anything that makes any type of sense. Nope, still makes no sense. So let's just keep it as that. We keep it as that for now. And I'm just going to drag this across, just in case price comes back into the zone only to push back up again. So let's just see what happens in the coming days and weeks, right? So with that covered, these are the levels that we want to be looking at for, okay? I think the TP zone up here is fairly realistic that price could make his way up there next week. I'm not sure if it will or if it was, or if it will or if it wouldn't, right? Only from Monday, Tuesday will I actually have an idea if price is going to be pushing up in that direction or not. And on that note, we've got some news, so let's get that up right now. Okay, so what we have here is news that will be coming in from a week commencing Monday, the 30th of September. And we've got a dangerous day plus a day of caution, right? So the dangerous day is Monday at 7 p.m. or 6:55. Sorry, because when the Fed chair starts speaking, right, in regards to the state of the economy, market goes in crazy directions and it does things that make no sense, right? In terms of it flies all around the place and then it will just be closing you out of positions depending on how aggressively you want to get back in. So when he's speaking, you kind of want to be careful how your positions are, right? How you've already got them all set up. So you want to be careful on that one. So I just want to put that out there. When the Fed chair is talk, when any federal chairperson is giving a speech, you want to be careful where you are locked in the markets, right? I just thought I'd put that out there. The following day, the Tuesday, pretty straightforward market data. These are things we can still navigate if you have an open position in the market. It just depends on how comfortable you are with the level of risk that you have assigned to your particular order, right? ADP non-farm payroll is still one of those days. It could be a little bit dicey, but bottom line is we can still manage those. Unemployment claim, same level of thinking. ISM service PMI, same level of thinking. Where things start to get a bit crazy is NFP on the Friday. NFP on a Friday, guys, I will say this, right? If you are unsure of your assessment on that day, I strongly recommend close your position before 1:30. Make sure you're out, right? And then after market does whatever it wants to do, you can lock back in again if it's still in the direction of your particular bias based on your analysis, all right? Keeping your position open when this event is going on is, in my opinion, is kind of like gambling, right? Reason being is we don't know what this data is going to be, right? So it's 144, right? If it's greater than that, right, you want to be selling, right? But the thing is that when this news breaks, it's just pending over here for about 2 minutes, and market is flying all over the place. By the time you actually get the data to see if you're on the right side of the coin, you might be actually really screwed, right? So my opinion, my recommendation to you, once again, not financial advisor, not giving you financial advice, is on this day, if you're unsure, right, hop out the market. Also, on this day, if you're very comfortable with your trades, why not stay in? So you can easily stay in if you're comfortable, but if you're uncomfortable, you're new to the game, and you're watching the channel for the first time, I recommend you exercise caution on this day. So caution needs to be applied on Friday afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, and caution needs to be exercised on the Monday, right? Between those days, it's just, if you know what you're doing, you're going to be okay. If you don't know what it is you're going to be doing, it's experience points you're building up, so that's only going to help you for your trades later on down your career, right? So with that said and done, let's get back to the charts again. Yeah, just a quick recap of some of the stuff we're looking at for. So like I said, weekly low 19743.1. If this level is taken out, this level over here is taken out, we're looking for positions in the corresponding direction. Weekly high 20338.3. If this level is taken out, we're looking for positions in the corresponding direction. Now, to catch up on the previous video that we did that led us to this video right here, you're going to be seeing the thumb in this corner, so make sure you hit that. Well, no, sorry, in this corner, so make sure you hit that, and you'll be seeing the thumb on this corner for the back testing videos. So make sure you do those amazing things. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.